Alright, so GSG-16 looks kind of like an Mp5. It's kind of supposed to be like a Mp5 clone-ish. It's not the same operating system or anything at all. Yeah, we're just gonna do a little check. We're good to go. This is not, just first thing, this is not the stock that comes on the firearm. I'll throw a picture on the screen of the original stock that comes on it. That one was all plastic. This, at least the rods here are metal. So I like this stock a little better. I was also running it with this stock for a little bit. First, before I get too deep into the video, is the Type 81 video that I put out. There's like people commenting and responding to each other's comments, and it's almost like a little community, and it's kind of cool because I've never really seen that to that extent on one of my videos at least. Yeah, that's really cool to see, and I'm not sure if this is going to get too much traction because this has kind of been around for a while. So is the Type 81, but whatever. This is kind of more of a niche firearm, whereas the Type 81 is way more practical and purpose-built. This is definitely just like a little plinker. I wouldn't really rely on defending my life with it, but I mean, I'd rather have it than nothing. But so again, what's a GSG-16? It's a German-made 22 or 9mm. They have a GSG-9 or GSG-16. There's a 9mm version of this. Yeah, so this is a German-made 22 LR, this model here at least. Direct blowback. There's no delayed roller blowback, just like you would see on an H&K Mp5. Obviously it looks a little bit more Mp5-ish than it did because of this stock that I put on it, as I mentioned. A couple of the dead giveaways for me obviously is the kind of slots right here, and obviously it doesn't have that castle, kind of like almost like a watchtower looking thing as a rear sight, and it obviously doesn't have a loop for the front sight. This faux suppressor here is it's actually just a barrel shroud, because the barrel does come out to the end. It's kind of like a little pencil barrel. This looks better. It does come in two variants that I know of, at least for the 22. You can get a short barrel that ends like pretty much right there, the 9-inch barrel, or you can get this. This entire rifle is ambidextric. You can see fire selector on both sides. The charging handle can actually be flipped over to this side. That's why you have that cutout there, like you see on there. Obviously a paddle magazine release is ambidextric no matter what. There's this weird AR style release up here. I don't know who has hands that big enough to use it, because I have to break my grip to get up there. I personally really haven't used that, but it's there if you need it. And I guess that brings me to the magazine. These magazines are cheap. They're not too amazing. It's nice at least because you get these. Mine at least hold 24. Everywhere it's advertised that they hold 22. But yeah, mine hold up to 24. Yeah, so the thing that I don't like about these mags, honestly, is just the fact that they are kind of prone to split with their design. There's nothing kind of keeping them closed halfway down the magazine. Really only on the top and the bottom. So what you get is, if you load a full mag, you kind of see the magazine open a little on the back. I'm only going to fill these up like halfway, because they tend to want to like pop open if you fill them up all the way. And just, if you are running this rifle, get the actual GSG. Don't get those Pro Mag off-brand mags, because they are, woo, not good. I did have one of the Pro Mag ones, and it actually like exploded. Shot rounds everywhere. Just split right in half. So I should have mentioned that. When you're loading the magazine, you got to make sure they're all lined up properly, or else it'll have some issues feeding. The GSG ones, while they are expensive, I think it's like $70 Canadian, obviously, for two of them. I'm sure you can probably get them cheaper somewhere, but that's at least what I've found. Just go with these ones. Another thing weird about the magazine is on the original stock, there's a cutout back here, and you can put a spare mag in there. I don't know why anybody'd want to do that, but again, it's there if you need it. There's a lot of weird design choices with this rifle. Honestly, a lot of that is just because GSG had to dodge HK trademarks. So obviously they need to kind of change it up enough so that it looks like their own thing. Because they did have a GSG-522 or something. That looked so much closer to a HK Mp5, but I guess HK went after them for that. So They switched it up. When you get the firearm, you're gonna have like this quad rail system where you'll have like these rails here. I took mine off because it got way too bulky. You can see kind of, it adds like a whole 1.5 centimeters to the bottom, and then like 3 centimeters, 2.5, 3 centimeters to the sides. So it kind of, it becomes really bulky like that. I took mine off, like I said, because it's a little bit more flush with the suppressor here. But at least you have them there if you need them. You can throw on lights, lasers, foregrip, sling mount, anything that you need. But you can also kind of throw on any M-lock stuff you have on here, because there's M-lock under these rails, which is definitely a neat design. I do like that. I gotta try to stay in frame here. One of the things that I made a mistake with my Type 81 videos, I wasn't keeping the gun in frame. I'm just running a Romeo 5 on here, a SIG Romeo 5. Where's the dot? Oh, there's the dot. With like the pass-through co-witness, I don't know if you can kind of see that, but I can see my rear and front sight under the red dot. So if for some reason the red dot ever goes out, I can still use the regular sights under there. The construction of this gun, it's all polymer. Anything that needs to be metal is metal. The rest is polymer, especially with the stock that comes on it. It's all plastic, right? So, and you do get a tiny bit of wobble that can be fixed just by throwing like a little piece of electrical tape under the housing back here and sliding it back on. But yeah, the lower receiver, upper receiver, handguard, the top monolithic style rail, everything plastic. Magazines, plastic. The barrel, charging handle, bolt assembly, that's all metal. Speaking of the charging handle, you can see it locks to the rear. I don't know if you guys can hear the storm or not. Sorry about that. I'm not filming my regular location. So it locks to the rear just like an H&K Mp5. You can even do that little slap if you want. I recommend not doing that because I was doing that like crazy and I snapped my charging handle. So the warranty, at least on these rifles, with my situation from Blue Line, is pretty good. They sent me a new charging handle. They sent me a new bolt assembly. We'll get to that when it comes to like the long-term reliability of the rifle. But honestly, I would recommend not slapping that unless you have the newer version that has the steel charging handle. Because I don't know what this is, but this is some sort of alloy, I think. So yeah, just don't, you don't gotta slap it. You can if you want to, but I'm warning you what happened to me. So if you want to avoid breaking your charging handle, just stay away from the HK slap. As for markings and insignia and stuff, you can see on here, 22 LR HV. So it recommends that you're running high velocity 22 ammo with this. And I, at least, was fine running anything. I was running the CCI standard, like that wax coated stuff, which actually was gunking up the chamber a little bit, causing some of the rounds to get stuck in the chamber. When you fired it, it'd be fine. It would eject it and everything, but they would get stuck in there if you tried to manually insert it and manually extract it. Oh, I see what's going on. So what happens is the wax like gums up the chamber. This is a problem with the ammo, not the gun. I need a longer shell. Yeah. Okay.
Oh, there it goes.
Yeah, see, look at that. That wax stuff is just all up the side of that round. It recommends high velocity. You can get like the cheap value stuff, that's fine. Maybe stay away from some of the standard velocity stuff if you want to keep consistency. And yeah, I've shot many types of 22 out of this, all different brands, all different velocities. I even shot snake shot out of it as a joke. Obviously I didn't cycle it, but it fired. And if you want to keep the rifle performing properly without getting the gunked up and stuff, it's gonna get gunked up no matter what. It's a 22 in semi-auto. They're dirty. They're very dirty rifles. Rim fire, it's just a very dirty cartridge and gets gunk everywhere as it's extracting. You're not really gonna dodge that, but at least I would stay away from like the CCI standard velocity because they have like that weird wax coating on it that gunks up. As for accuracy, I'm grinding camos right now. I'm getting long shots. What are you getting out of like a $500, $600 plinker? Not much. This is definitely like a play gun. Run around with it, shoot some steel. That's what it's good for. The sight is quite a bit off. That's my excuse. I did, just out of curiosity, throw like an actual rifle scope on this and try this out at distance. If you're looking for something that's accurate, that's semi-auto, say for hunting or whatever, just get like a 10-22 if you need rimfire. I would not recommend this for like any sort of distance shooting. It's great for what I use it for, running around on the range. It's more than accurate for that. But if you're depending on it for actual hunting purposes or anything like that, I was getting like 2.5 to 3.5 MOA, which is not great. Nothing like you'd get out of a 10-22. You can hunt small game with it if you really have to. It should be accurate enough for like close range hunting, but I wouldn't recommend throwing like a scope on here and trying to do any long range small game hunting. But this isn't a 10-22. You're obviously paying mostly for like cosmetics and a little bit of modularity, I guess, because like I said, you can throw some foregrips, some lights on there. But you're mostly paying for, I want Mp5, but Mp5 at home kind of thing, right? That's what you're getting yourself into with this. Don't go into this thinking like, oh, I'm gonna have this super good firearm. You're not. It's not great, but I have a lot of fun with it, and I guess that's what matters because that's what I got it for. But yeah, so just keep in mind that if you're getting this thing, you're not getting it for accuracy. You're getting it for just the pure fun factor of running around with something that feels and runs as close as you can kind of get in Canada to an Mp5 right now. So it's worth mentioning, I am well over the 5,000 round mark, which I was going to do this review at, but I'm even well over the 6,000 now. So I'm anywhere from 6,500 to 7,500 rounds through this rifle. This stopped performing reliably and well, at least to the standard of which I got the rifle in, around the 5,500 mark. And I have the original Bolt here. So this Bolt was chambering rounds, extracting rounds fine, but it started to get weak primer strikes. So I'm not sure if like the firing pin or something wore down to the point where it's not hitting it hard anymore. I opened this whole thing up, I cleaned it like crazy. It didn't fix my issue. But like I said, if you get one of the Blue Line Solution GSGs, then just hit up Blue Line, tell them the problem that you're having. They sent me at least one of these, no questions asked, no cost or anything. Well, other than shipping, there's like a $5 shipping fee or something, which is nothing. Yeah, so this is the whole housing here. It's actually kind of nice that I have this out and still have the one in the rifle, because I don't want to take this apart. Taking this apart, I really do not like the breakdown of this rifle. I'd recommend getting one of these, or two of these HK push pins, if I can get it out just with my hand here. The stock's a little weird, because this saves a lot of time and frustration. There is like a double-sided flathead screw for both of the pins that you kind of got to hold two screwdrivers. It's a pain. So just get these push pins, because you just pop that in there, pop one up in there. I do have the original pin here. I don't have a push pin for the front yet because it's shorter, right? But that takes down half the hassle at least. And then basically when you do push out the pins, you're just going to slide the lower receiver off. The bolt carrier, bolt housing, whatever, will come out of the upper receiver. And you're not really supposed to take this apart and clean it. It's recommended that you don't in the manual. But like I said, when it wasn't running well anyways, I just did it, because what's the worst thing that's going to happen, right? Yeah, it probably ran a little bit better after I did that. What I would recommend doing is just taking the lower receiver off, so splitting the lower from the upper, taking the bolt assembly out, cleaning that to the best of the ability without breaking it down, some CLP pretty much everywhere, scrape all the gunk away, make sure you kind of get it back and clean in there too, because as you can see, there's a wall in there you want to clean. Then other than that, make sure that the chamber is pretty clean, like the wall where the bolt kind of goes into battery there. Make sure that's clean. Run a snake through the barrel, and that's all I really do. And it's been fine for me. If you get this firearm, you can expect 5,000, 5,500 before you start running into issues with the bolt carrier. You might even be able to say that the problems with the bolt is my fault, because like I said, I was running a lot of standard velocity instead of just the high velocity. I could have like prematurely wore something down or strained something, or I don't know. I could have messed with it somehow like that. So that could even be my fault. I don't know. But yeah, just keep that in mind. But yeah, just to save yourself some possible issues, just run the stuff it recommends. The high velocity 22. You should be fine. Again, this is going to be subjective because I don't know how you guys are running your rifles, what surroundings you're using them in or whatever. I've used this, I say this about every firearm, but I kind of take every firearm out into gross conditions. Shot this in rain, thunderstorms, snow. It's gotten a little muddy. Nowhere near the WK or the Type 81. I've never actually got like gunk down in there, which definitely helps with the operation. It's been reliable in that sense, where rain, snow, didn't notice any difference in performing or operation with the firearm. Yeah, so back to this situation. This is going to be kind of super out of order video. That's how all my videos are. But yeah, no visual damage on the bolt carrier. Some of the bluing or whatever's on the side there is worn off, but you're going to see that after 5,000, 6,000 rounds, whatever. But since we got this out, let's kind of talk about cleaning of this firearm, because it is treacherous, okay? It's not fun. It's a very awkward firearm to clean. First of all, you have like no room to get in there really. Even when you take off the lower receiver, you don't have too much room. Yeah, you want to keep that relatively clean. You want to keep the actual bolt face pretty clean. But yeah, cleaning this thing is a pain. It is not fun. If you enjoy taking apart things and being frustrated, then maybe it won't be so bad for you. But I'm not really the biggest fan of working in super confined spaces like that. There is a little spring at the back that you got to be careful that you don't knock out, because if you knock that spring out, then it's going to be a pain to get that back in. What that is though is just the bolt hold open feature for the last round. But yeah, one of the things that makes this rifle so fun, and one of the reasons why I would recommend it for most gun owners, is just the fact that you're not restricted to the whole 5-round for a rifle capacity, because it is rimfire, right? So these standard mags are 22, we'll say, or 24 if you want to really push it. I only really put 15 to 20 in, just because, like I said, the magazine starts to split a little bit. But you have these, which are the standard magazines that it comes with. I think there is some stores that sell them with the 10-round magazines, which are shorter, about there or so. And then you can straight up just get a 110-round drum mag for it. It looks a little ridiculous. I personally don't have a drum mag. I have 6 of these, one being the Pro Mag, so 5 that are actually worth it. So I can fill up my carrier, run around, do reloads all day. It's fun stuff, honestly. So if you're into that kind of thing, like run around and not having to worry too much about magazine capacities and stuff, with the whole rifle being plastic, you would think like it's kind of super terrible quality, which for some people it is super terrible quality. For me personally, it's not a big deal. Like I said, this is just a play gun. The plastic at least feels somewhat sturdy. I can't really bend or manipulate the rifle in any way that I shouldn't be able to. One thing, like I said, you might just want to get rid of that stock. Either running like a fixed stock like this, or just getting one of these steel wire stocks. And that'll definitely make the rifle feel a little better. Because yeah, this has been dropped many times. It's been dropped in the woods. It's been dropped on concrete. I hadn't, other than the charging handle breaking, not too much has happened. Maybe the dropping contributed to the charging handle breaking. Maybe it created like a little micro fracture and I went to go slap it or something. Not sure, but it's been dropped like this. It's been dropped like that. Been dropped like that. I was surprised that one was fine, because the stock that comes with it is not the best quality. There's actually a ton of mods that you can do with these GSG-16 rifles. Stocks, lower receivers, handguards. Even if you don't have the 9-inch barrel, you can get like the 9-inch barrel, throw that in there. I even seen this one that someone made their GSG-16 look like a G3 kind of, with like the wooden handguard, wooden fixed stock. Looked super sick. There's a site, I don't remember exactly what they are, I'll put them up on the page. All it is basically like 3D printed parts. I don't know if they're good or not. I'm not recommending them. I'm just saying you can get pretty cool setups, at least cosmetically, with what I've seen. You can make these things look exactly like an HK Mp5, or pretty close to it at least. We're gonna talk about this trigger real quick, because it's another thing that's not great. Obviously we're checking, making sure that we're unloaded here. The magazine does need to be in it to actually allow the hammer to go forward. There's a mag release, or there's a mag safety, whatever you want to call it. But this trigger, wow, is it ever bad? You can adjust it to make it lighter or heavier, but I don't think you can get rid of this mush. We have a solid centimeter of mush, and then it's pretty much a clean break. So, in a way, you can kind of say it's nice, like the way that it breaks, but that mush is just, it doesn't feel right. It doesn't feel great, but yeah, that, get the trigger reset there. Little tiny click. See if we can get that trigger reset a little closer and better. So yeah, you're not getting a good trigger. And as far as I know, I don't know of any major trigger mods. There might be a mod out there that gets rid of that mush, like I said, but other than adjusting the actual weight of the trigger, I think you're kind of stuck with that mush. So yeah, what you're getting is a generally nice plinker, run around, play gun. It's nothing too serious, but it is loads of fun. I've had a lot of fun with it. A lot of my friends love it.
That's fun.
It is fun. It's a fun little plinker, isn't it? It doesn't really let me down. It's never let me down when I really need it, at least. I did go out to film with my buddy Justin. So some of y'all may know Justin from the gaming videos. This is him in the flesh. And probably the only time that it actually kind of failed on me was all the wax from the cheap rounds we were running. It kind of started to coat up the chamber. So like I said, it wasn't manually extracting rounds. It would extract a round if you fire it, but it wouldn't manually extract it. So it was getting gunked up in there enough to the point where it would hold it in place. But if it fired, obviously it would bump it out of battery a little bit and extract it. So yeah, that's really the only time that, other than the problems with the original bolt carrier, that's really the only time that it's ever actually kind of failed me when I was counting on it. Because the bolt carrier was more or less like a slow decline. I would take out the rifle, shoot 300 rounds, have the light primer strike 2-3 times, and then next it was like 4, 5, 6. It just got progressively worse and worse. It was definitely something that you could see coming. So I had a lot of warning, and like I said, I just messaged Blue Line. They sent me out another bolt carrier, no problem, or a complete bolt assembly, I should say. And the rifle's been running great again, other than with the wax ammo that makes it super gunked up. If you, for whatever reason, need to take this faux suppressor off, and there's like a little set screw there, Allen key. You unwind that, and then it should just twist or slide right off. One of the nice things about this being polymer, though, is you don't get any like wear markings. You can like scratch it, drop it, scrape it. You're not going to get any like any bluing or any paint or anything coming off. Although I am going to probably paint this firearm. We'll see. But you're not going to have any like major signs of wear. It looks pretty new still after years of abuse. So I hope I'm not forgetting anything. But that's the GSG-16 and what I think of it. My final recommendation is yes and no. Like I said, if you're someone that is in need or wants a fun run around, not super serious plinking apparatus, then yeah, go for it. It's been very fun. It's super affordable. Like I said, it's usually $500, $600 in that range, and it's cheap to run. Hey, Callie, how you doing? Yeah, my dog's just wanting some attention here. No, come on, Cal. But it's super cheap to run. You can go out and get hundreds of rounds for not too much, and shoot all day long and barely even break the bank. For a 22, this is getting pretty warm. Where you can't say that about a lot of center fire calibers. But if you are someone that's wanting a reliable, depend on with your life kind of firearm, look somewhere else. If you want like some sort of like survival rifle or something, get a 10-22. Anything like that is going to be better than the GSG-16. Because you don't want to be having problems if you're using it for survival purposes, such as hunting or even defense or anything. I don't know. 22 can be quite the capable little round, especially if you're using like some sort of defense round. Sorry if this was a little awkward. Like I said, I'm not filming in my regular spot, but I had to make do with what I got. And I don't want to take too long getting another video out because I keep making that mistake and the channel keeps going up and then down because I wait too long and then up and then down. So I'm not sure how this is going to do because this is a very for someone specific type firearm. This is for people who just want to have fun. I love that gong so much.
I know.
Ting, 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 ting.
So nice.
And feel kind of cool running around doing Mp5 like reloads and stuff. And if you're someone that has one of these and you've had good experiences, bad experiences, I'd love to hear it either way. Let me know how you're running it. Are you running it with just the iron sights? Are you using an optic, foregrips, long barrel, short barrel, stock? I want to know it. I want to know. But yeah, like I said, I just wanted to thank again for how awesome the response has been to the WK video, Tape 81 video. There's a big difference when I do like dirt bike and camping content versus when I do firearm content. Firearm content seems to do much better on the channel. So I'm going to be focusing more on firearm content. I'm still going to keep making dirt bike videos and outdoor videos and stuff, but I want to try to experiment more with this firearm content because I waited so long to do it. I was on the fence about it for so long, finally did it, and it's been great so far. Nothing has grown the channel faster actually than the WK and the Type 81 video. Don't know what my expectations are with this video, but it's worth a shot. And I've had some people ask, what do I think of the GSG-16? Some people were saying that I should make a video about it. And yeah, so I just thought I'd bite the bullet and just try my best at least. But yeah, so rifle good. Rifle okay. 14 IQ answer. You can shoot in 10mm if you have to.
Yeah.
I can just crop it. Play with your creativity.
Okay.
A lot of takes.